Hello and welcome everyone to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. So this is a podcast where my co-host and I watch and listen to all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media from the previous week. We get together at a podcast host, and today we are back at Higher Gravity Summit Park. Thank you, Higher Gravity, for being a gracious podcast host. Now, hopefully there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of the other podcasts and media. So far, so good. 2024.
Yeah, this will be our last episode of 2024, and I think we came away mostly unscathed.
Mostly.
Yeah.
My name is Marco. I'm a taproom manager here locally. I did brew beer in the Cincinnati area for several years, and that other voice you heard belongs to the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
I am Julia. I love to drink all the craft beer in Cincinnati. I love participating in Higher Gravity's beer vent calendar that they do each and every year. If you are a beer vent box buyer from Higher Gravity, please be sure to check the bottom of your box for your draft voucher if you didn't already find it. Sometimes it kind of shovels around at the bottom of the box. So that is my pro tip for you. And if you bring the box back to Higher Gravity, not the lid because they can't reuse that, but the box itself, you get another one. That's right, another $5 voucher. So if that also doesn't entice you to buy a beer vent box for next year, you're kind of hopeless.
Wow.
I don't know what else to tell you to try to promote this because it is absolutely amazing.
Okay. All right. Excellent. It is amazing. So all the thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with, such as part-time jobs, full-time jobs, stuff of that nature. Higher gravity,
although I think that they tend to agree with most of what we say.
I think I tend to agree with most of what Julia says. And let's see, that being said, we are not like all those fake-ass podcasts out there talking about beer that don't drink beer. Mm-hmm. We actually do the heavy lifting around here.
Yes.
We do the heavy
drinking
lifting
so that they don't have to.
Yes, exactly. So, Julia, what you drinking?
I am drinking a beer from Streetside Citrus Sabra. This was actually, I think it was day 3 of the beer vent calendar.
Okay.
They have it on tap, so it'll be here. There might be some at Streetside. There might be some cans still floating around at either Streetside or Higher Gravity. I don't know, because these are limited brews that they get from some of these local breweries. It's just like drinking orange juice with the tiny nice little hot bite in the back. It's delicious. I could drink a lot of this and get into a lot of trouble with it.
That's good.
How about you, Marco? What is in your glass?
I am having Truth Bomb.
Ooh, one of the newest bombs from Rheingeist.
Bomb!
That actually sounded like a negative bomb. Like I was saying that like the beer is bad and failed. That's not at all what I meant.
No.
I meant as in anyway, you all know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I am glad that you know what the words I speak actually... what the intent behind those words is. Yes. We actually only have 2 pieces of content for you this week. So
somebody's taking breaks out there.
There have been a lot of breaks from places. We do have brief mentions of 2 shows. Adam Makes Beer, he put out his a video about the light lager brewing where he took an airplane to a far away brewery to participate in their one of their brew days and put out content about it. So that is awesome, but I mean, again, not Cincinnati based, so we are just mentioning it because Adam Makes Beer is such amazing beer content. Yeah. For me, it's a little over my head. It is more technical than what I can kind of wrap my head around, but the production level that he puts into his videos, it's great.
I don't want him to get pissed. I mean, we talk about everybody. We mention you. We want everyone to go and listen and watch your content because it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Man. It's fantastic. But yeah, it's it deserves to be talked about, and it I don't know what to say. It's just like...
It just deserves to be talked about. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And then we would be completely remiss if we didn't mention Craft Parenting Pod and their every single day piece of content. Every day for Beer Vent. They're doing videos on YouTube, which is amazing. Sometimes one of them is not there and they're replaced by a tree, for example.
Or a child.
Or a child. Or
a child and a tree.
Any other number of mostly inanimate objects. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the objects are very animated. I don't want to say object. That sounds terrible. But
there's a lot of
you know what
bells
I mean.
jingling and Christmas decor.
I do wonder because we
tin
know,
tackers for West Side.
So this might be pulling their curtain back a little bit, but sometimes they record more than one of those in a night.
No way.
And sometimes I feel like
you can pick up on it.
You can pick up on it a little bit.
I think you can pick up on it a little bit.
But no, their content's been absolutely fantastic through Beer Vent, so
It's been a
definitely
lot of
check
fun.
it out. The only reason we're not talking about each and every episode is because it
kind of would take it away.
It would take it away.
We're talking about a
right.
15-minute, 15-minute
20-minute
podcast,
right?
And
most of
you
it
already
is,
know what the beer is,
right? And a lot of what they talk about outside of it isn't necessarily like Cincinnati craft beer related. So then most of our show would be talking about, what movie is a Christmas movie and this and that, or what does the West Side actually mean? Is Ohio actually in the Midwest, or is it in the Mid-East, or is it in the wherever some people try to?
And I get it. Some of those tangents are good to go on for us.
They're hilarious,
but they're also
we have
good
other
for
stuff to
you
talk
to
about.
find
Yes.
out and draw you to them.
Well, and as you guys know, we will take, as we've already done, a quick recap of something. Maybe there's a 15-minute show. We'll talk about it for 20 minutes. If we did that for every single day for their beer, like this would not. No,
Look, this is
I
for
would
you.
die editing.
Yeah, this is for you so that we kind of edit ourselves.
Yes.
That's why we can't do 30 days of craft beer and geek pod.
Right. The content is great, so definitely check it out. It is on podcast form and YouTube form. I say go for the YouTube just because the visuals are stunning.
I agree.
To say the least, they're very sparkly.
I
they're
think
very festive. They put a lot of effort into what they're doing. So you should
they're
watch
made
it.
for
Yeah.
YouTube.
Absolutely.
These beer vent box episodes. They're made for YouTube. That's good.
All right, let's move on to our first full recap of the night.
Okay.
This is going to be Blake's Craft Beer Podcast, episode 42, his Craft Beer Summit 2024, part 3, the Cincinnati panel, part 1, is what I'm going to say. As a teaser for what should be coming out next week. I am assuming, unless he decided he needed to scrap the entire 4th episode, I would not blame him if he did. It's so much fun. Anyway,
God,
in this...
It's such a good time.
All right, going back to part 3 of Blake's Craft Beer Summit 2024, the Cincinnati panel. It was recorded at Rheingeist, and he had an absolutely amazing group of guests as part of this panel.
Fantastic assembly.
Like some of the big powerhouses of Cincinnati craft beer. You have Kelly Montgomery from Third Eye, Tracy Ireland and Travis Houston from Rheingeist, Brittany Fry from Mad Tree, Hannah Kent from Urban Artifact, and Max Fram from 50 West. I mean, that is one hell of a group of people to talk about their thoughts of I felt like this was more specifically the Cincinnati craft beer scene in 2024. They didn't really focus on a lot of the national stuff. I feel like that was kind of our panel, was more of the industry as a whole. This felt much more central to their breweries and Cincinnati. Did you hear it differently?
I think, well, first of all, spoiler alert, there's another panel, like you said. Spoiler alert. Possibly we may be on it. But,
for good or bad.
Yeah. But I think this panel did a great job of taking broad national topics and bringing them back to home.
That's fair.
Being able to talk specifically about the way that they're handling or navigating or negotiating those ebbs and flows.
Sure, absolutely. One of the first questions that Blake brought up were, to each of them, what word or words would you use to describe 2024, which he's had in the Dayton panel, the other panels that he's done, which I think is a fantastic way to try to summarize what each of these places has felt about the past year. And I feel like every single person, their word or phrase was all... they were all very strong, positive, and reinforcing words. All right, so some of the other topics that kind of stemmed out of the words that they used for 2024. One of the first topics that came up was Sinbev purchasing TAFs, like that whole conversation.
Yeah.
And they looked at it, I feel like all of them looked at it in a very positive light. It still keeps things local. It still keeps local jobs. It still keeps the Taft's name and the production of Taft's products local. I think most of what Impact Brewing makes isn't local, or a bigger chunk of it is not local.
Well,
but it keeps those jobs in place. It keeps work in Cincinnati in the brewing industry or the mixing industry, or whatever you want to call the Impact Brewing space.
I think they did a good job of explaining that, look, the tap room closed, so unfortunately front of house staff had to get placed elsewhere.
Right, but I don't believe that there were too many people that were
probably not
working front of house for a while.
Towards the end.
Oh, sure,
you can run a tap room with just a few people, especially if you're only going to a certain date. But anyways, so they're looking to double the amount of
workers
that they have for Impact Brewing. The Taft's brand, the label, is going to still live on through SynBev.
Yep, absolutely.
And so they did a good job explaining that this was a conscious effort to spin off and say goodbye to, at that space, the Taft's brand that part of the Taft's brand that wasn't making as much money, aka the tap room space versus their contract brewing space. They needed to focus more on the contract brewing side, which is doing really well.
Right. And I don't know exactly
it's contract. It's contract work. Let's not call it contract brewing, because
that's fair.
Because I think they've even gotten rid of the brew house.
Yeah, it's just more all mixing and blending.
It's all mixing, blending, canning, packaging, that
shipping,
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but the Taft's ownership even stayed with a Cincinnati company with SynBev, or as much as that is. So they are still keeping it local, which I think is fantastic. And then that switched to a really, I don't want to say it switched to, it was still part of the same conversation, but it started talking about the other tap rooms that have closed or might be closing. Very interesting phrase, the ones that are still open are open for a reason. And they touched on how they treat their employees, the things that, alternatives to either going to a contract side or to allowing their alternative beverage options for their clients. The ones that are staying open to this group specifically, feel like they're open because of the conscious decisions that they're making to continue moving forward, rather than sticking to potentially a business plan that wasn't working or hadn't worked for a bit and not knowing when to pivot or where to pivot.
Well, I hope so. I mean, the fact is that these industry realities have been hitting everyone for a little while. So if you haven't made changes or arrangements or set up ways to go forward, or what that path looks like, I don't know what to say. And that doesn't mean that somebody's path forward doesn't include a definitive date where a hard decision's made.
Oh, sure, right. Yep, absolutely. The next thing that they kind of moved to was Cincy Light taking the world, or at least Cincinnati and the greater Cincinnati area, by storm.
Yeah.
That product has taken off immensely, and Tracy and Travis from Rheingeist said that they feel a lot of that is because of the community involvement. It's not just the beer. It's not just that Cincinnatians want a light lager, and Cincy Light just happened to be the one that they picked. But the involvement with the NIL, the involvement with the community, and bringing everyone from UC together and all that has really kind of helped that brand to just absolutely explode more than they were even thinking it would in 2024.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of all of those things together, really coming together to make that large of an impact, right? If it was just Rheingeist Light, it would not have hit the same way with the customer base. The fact that it was Cincy Light is
Sure.
something in its favor. The fact that it was in conjunction with the NIL Collective was another thing, and the fact that the market was wanting a light lager option, all of those things, and then them being able to hit the demand. And by the way, if we go back to when it started, there were shortages.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And so the fact that they were able to scale up their business to the point where they were able to fulfill that demand and put it in the stadium and, continue to pump that project to, the space that it's at right now is good, because a lot of places couldn't do
Be
that.
able to handle that, right?
Couldn't do that.
And I do like how you threw, they had the name Cincy in the beer, because I forget what podcast it was, but a couple weeks back, someone on one of the podcasts mentioned that putting the word Cincy in there, Cincinnatians are very loyal to anything with the word Cincinnati in any of its, shortened, full form. Anything with that city name in it, Cincinnatians are like, I am behind this no matter what, for the most part, no matter what.
I think West Side actually gets a lot of that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think people love the connection to West Side. Now, West Side also backs that up with great beer, but I think there's a lot of a pride from a segment that's drinking, locally.
Yeah, you feel like you're supporting that community or that city because of part of that name, part of that branding. Yeah, agreed 100%. They jumped over a couple other topics, but one of the bigger ones they talked about near the end of the episode was navigating the THC landscape, which is such an interesting topic. There's uncertainty around it right now. They don't know if Ohio is going to try to ban the sale of it. Is it still going to fit into that little the farmer loophole that it's a hemp-derived product and it's not the same thing as a cannabis-derived product?
Right.
No one's really sure, but they're trying to figure out how to, or the breweries that are doing it, 50 West and Urban Artifact with Castello, trying to figure out how to navigate that and make sure that what they're putting out there is the best representation of the product and it's not confusing to consumers, and that it is very transparent on what's on the label, to try and ensure that no matter what happens with the law, if they're able to keep making it, they're already checking all the boxes that the state is going to want them to check.
I think they're doing their part. I think what's not as clear is what all of that means relating to the consumer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of consumer
somebody
confusion.
who doesn't take in that anything, whether it's from a medical basis or from a recreational basis, they don't understand what any of that means. They just think a THC product means you're getting a weed beverage in a can, and they don't really understand, other than I can get that 4 milligrams is less than 5, and 5 milligrams is a certain percentage less than 25. And I don't know what any of that means if I don't regularly consume any of it.
Well, and when a lot of those products, not just the beverages, but when a lot of the CBD and the Delta 9, Delta whatever products started to hit, unless that is something that really interested you and you wanted to dive into, people don't know what that means. I do like that the local products that are out there, they do have, THC and, 21 and up beverage on it. But I don't know if everyone has mentioned, this was, I forget who said this, putting the word that it is an intoxicating beverage on the label versus just this is a THC beverage. Because do consumers even understand that this product is still going to mess with you, maybe not in the same way as alcohol, but it's not like getting an athletic beer or a non-alcoholic beer that you can drink without the risk of being inebriated. You're just going to be a different kind of inebriated. And I think that's one of the things that our local breweries that are making these products are trying to ensure that on the can, on the labels, there is an indicator that there is something about this product that is going to make you act a different way than maybe you normally would.
Yeah.
But what is that proper verbiage? What is how do you put that information on the can without having it be paragraphs that no one's going to read? It needs to be 2 or 3 words.
Right. Yeah, and Max did a good job explaining that Bobby did speak to a panel
Yes.
of Ohio legislatures about his thoughts on the way that this should be approached and handled, and they are in favor of monitoring and
regulation,
basically
regulating,
regulating and taking it through the TTB and putting it through the distribution process. I think the main thing is that what they're saying is this oversight is good so that we can take it through our processes as brewers rather than taking it through this other process where it actually becomes prohibitive and you're only selling it at these dispensaries.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Move from there into some of the closing conversation, trends that they wish would go away and things that they are excited to see moving into 2025.
I'm excited that one of the trends was kind of something that I thought about. I'm not going to give anything away, but
yeah, this is very true. I will say Lucky Charm beers made one of those 2 lists.
Yeah.
But definitely listen to the episode to find out. And little sneak peek from Mad Trees Parks and Rec. Apparently, they may be growing cherry and almond trees and cross-pollinating them to make the ultimate
I didn't make the connection until
beverage.
They talked about it.
Yeah.
The connection with
cherries and almond. Yeah, that was very cool. That was very, very cool. This was another fantastic episode from Blake. All of his Craft Beer Summit panels have been just spectacular. The people that he has been able to get together are some of the best people in the business, in the industry. And
possibly only a few better.
Possibly.
Locally.
But maybe those people will show up next week.
Possibly.
On his next episode, yes. Any other notes on that before we take a quick break and get a couple, I'll say more beverages and do things that we do on breaks? Or are you good?
No.
All right. Quick break and we will be right back. We have made it back. Marco was very distracted. He's not even like the one thing you have to coordinate with me on, and it just failed. But it's probably because you have something amazing in your glass. What you drinking?
Well, actually, it's because I have something amazing sitting next to me.
Well,
my wife Rachel is here. She's on the headphones, not with a mic. Although you're happy to talk on my mic, or you're welcome to. My wife,
she's busy producing right now. She is making sure that our show goes flawlessly.
My heart sings when she's next to me, and I'm just.
You have a glow
I'm just
about
happy.
you, yeah.
I'm just happy.
Good.
But yes, I do have lunch.
So the subpar beverage that you have.
I have lunch from Maine, and it's wonderful. It's really fantastic.
Awesome. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say that we should do something.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you prepared?
By the way, if you didn't notice, there are kids around, so I didn't put the F in that.
We're in the tap room. I'm trying not to, but if it happens, they know where they are. Shout out to Don Rock, the Imposter on YouTube. That is the best Monday night football theme rendition that I have ever heard in my entire life. But that also means that I need to make a phone call to a certain very short, pointy. That's not working.
She looked at me and said, "Short, pointy," and then she went,
"Ho, holiday hotline. This is Gnome Claus."
Hi, Gnome Claus. It's Julia and Marco from Truth Beer and Podsequences. How are you?
Oh.
And Rachel.
Great.
And Rachel. Rachel is here behind the scenes producing for us.
Oh,
she's doing amazing.
Behind the scenes? You didn't give her a microphone?
We asked, and she said I would rather work behind the scenes and
She
make
said,
sure that the show.
I've heard your work. I don't want to be on it.
Well, no part of this.
I mean, I can't say that I blame her at all. How has your day been going? How is your pre-holiday
it's
or
been
semi-holiday events? Good.
No, it's holiday. We'll talk about it tonight on the Weekly Pint.
Excellent.
Or back in the past when people are actually hearing this on the Weekly Pint. But
we talked
it's
about it
full
on
on
the Weekly
Christmas in
Pint.
my house.
All right. Okay, so the reason we called you, and we're going to make this quick so that we can get back to the final recap we have, and you can get back to doing whatever Gnome Claus has to do before the Weekly Pint.
We're actually at a Chinese buffet.
Are you? Oh, God. Okay, well,
Which one? Which one? No, which one?
Milford. Chinatown buffet. Shout out to Chinatown buffet. My kids are loving it.
Well, there you go. Awesome. Well,
Hell yeah.
Well, tell them that we say hello and Merry
I will.
Christmas, Happy Holidays. Gnome Claus.
Tell the buffet, like the people, or my kids.
All the above.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Do you think I'll get a discount?
You might. You never know until you try.
Okay.
You never know.
Just
All right.
off the phone with Truth Your Pod. Where's my discount?
Did it work?
We'll find out.
Oh, you'll find. Oh, okay. I thought you were actually asking someone right there. All right. So you can get back to your family. Who is your pick for Week 17 in our NFL Deathmatch Challenge?
I thought long and hard about this.
bet
I
you
went
did.
back and
Yeah,
forth, long and hard.
Oh, God.
I went back and forth, and I finally, after lots of deliberation, I settled on the Bengals. Who dey?
Who dey? How about that parallel touchdown pass?
Oh my God! How
That
about
was
the
amazing.
entire thing?
Yes.
We're still in this. I love it.
It's ridiculous. I absolutely love it, and I hope that we show the world up and make it to the playoffs. It's It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to try to speak it into existence.
It's frustrating that we didn't get one of our teams that needed to lose, but
But we're not out yet.
No.
All right, Marco, who are you going with, sir? And if you pick the team that I was going to pick, I don't know. I'll just have to pick someone else.
You know what? I'm going to do
Same
something.
thing.
I don't know how many times I've done it this year.
all
I'm
right.
going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to pick against my hometown team. I am going to pick the Green Bay Packers to beat the Saints tonight.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because it
Wait a
is-
minute,
No,
that's-
no.
no.
'Cause this is still week.
I can't
is
do
still
that.
Week 16, right?
I can't do that.
You can't do that.
I can't do that.
Nope.
So I have to pick a different team.
Yes. Which this week is so weird for the NFL because there are games
it's so
on like
strange.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Tonight's
I
the
know.
previous week,
Yes.
but Wednesday is the new week.
Yes.
And
So-
I'm going to, let's see, hold on.
All right, I'm going to do my pick while Marco's thinking
Okay.
about his. I'm going Eagles. Eagles over the Cowboys. I wanted to pick Vikings, but they're
Right.
playing
Eagles
Green Bay,
solid
and that's
pick.
a little too touchy for me. I'm not too sure, so I'm going for the Eagles. And Marco, you and Rachel are discussing. You're scrolling. You know what? Who's Rachel picking this week? I'm giving this one to her, not you, Marco. The stakes have just have just
Rachel
gone
keeps
up.
shaking her head. She's like, no.
Well, even Marco,
no,
you can
no,
say
no.
it. Come on, we got to get Gnome Claus back to his family.
Suspense.
We're going to go Bills over Jets.
See you Monday. Bills over the Jets again?
Those are okay. That's an easy pick.
All right.
We're going to
Well,
go
but you
Bills
know
over
what?
Jets.
The object of this game is to get points, so an easy pick isn't terrible. So,
You didn't tell me that was the object at the beginning of the season.
well, what did you think the object was?
I just thought I was supposed to pick my favorite team.
Yeah. Oh, so the person with the least amount of points.
Hey, if we switch this to playing by golf rules, Gnome's got
Or
it.
if we play it to where whoever picks the best team every week wins, I win.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, we're gonna let you get back to your family and to the Chinese buffet and to just stuffing your face with amazing food.
Oh yeah.
And we will see you. Well, tonight we'll see you on the Weekly Pint. We'll have seen you in the past as this episode comes out. But happy holidays. Have a great one.
Happy holidays
Happy
to you and your
holidays,
family.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Hoo
later.
day.
Hoo day. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's always so much fun. I don't think I hung up yet, so we will see if Gnome Claus hung up. Yep, cool. Nothing worse than a dead phone call that's on mute. I love this part. Amazing, stunning. Again, there is no better rendition of that theme.
No, there's
ever,
not.
ever.
No.
All right, let's go ahead and roll through the only other show that we have to talk about, because this week us recording on a Monday is weird. That means next week we're going to be talking about the weekly pint from tonight, and it's all going to blur together, and it's just going to be an absolute mess, but we will still make it happen. Barstool Perspective from December 20th, 2024, the year that was. They actually titled this one because they didn't do it live. They pre-recorded and just pushed it out there. I was very excited that I was going to be home and able to watch the live stream, and then they went and did this, and I was very disappointed and sad. But that's all right. It's all right. It was a great episode. This is their favorite stories of 2024 and some stories they're excited to watch in 2025.
Top 10 favorite stories of 2024.
Yes.
And then stories they're watching in 2025.
Yes. And we are not going to go over all 10 stories because we want you to watch this and find some of the stories that, again, we didn't mention.
Right.
Because some of the tangents and the jokes and the... Brett holding his head in his hands at what Mike just said. You've got to watch it. You absolutely have got to watch it.
You also have to watch it because Mike looked like he just came from an interview at a Christmas shop.
Yes. Or a company Christmas party.
Yes.
Either way, yes. One of the stories that they talked about was the Indianese and liquor murders.
So the Indianese, they... might be screwing up a good thing for a lot of people. Home distilling became legal in West Virginia.
Right.
And then Texas wanted to legalize home distilling. And then the Indianese, and by the way, that's Mike Bring the D. Morgan's term, not ours.
Yes, for people who live in the great state of Indiana,
In the state of Indiana.
The state of Indiana. It might not be so great.
Whatever. It's like mid.
But anyway, I could give it 0 stars,
I would.
But
people in Indiana decide to home distill some bad things, and then
which
some
turned
people
into even worse things somehow.
Death is
yes.
the worst possible scenario, and so there's great advancements on states like West Virginia giving the federal government the middle finger and saying, no, we're going to make this legal, and we're going to do this as going to be part of our identity, and we're going to have home distilling competitions, and this is going to grow. And then Texas wants to do the same.
Right.
And then the Indianese went and just killed people. And so the federal government's like, well, I don't know about this killing people part.
Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like that so much, no.
But if we can do like a Oz the Mentalist, like over here, but not over here. Like if we can get their focused attention back to where it's actually working and people aren't that stupid.
Right.
Maybe we can make some advancements in home distilling.
Yeah, we'll see. One of the next stories that they talked about was being very, very excited, making a lot of reckless speculations, and then being very disappointed. Then being very disappointed about the truth of what the MILF Mountain and wine controversy was all about.
So we all wanted MILF Mountain controversy to have MILFs and mountains in it.
Yes.
I mean...
Or MILF's Mountains.
Yeah.
Like
MILF's Mountains.
Yes,
absolutely.
But that wasn't what it was at all.
Turned out to not have as many...
MILFs or mountains.
MILFs or mountains in it.
Very disappointing for everyone involved.
It was disappointing, but wineries are not sure what to do because it's not cheap and people aren't buying it. And then when places in like the California wine region close, somebody is buying up all of this property for what is a bargain, even though it's still extremely expensive.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Buying it up for a bargain because it's not what it did cost when you opened a winery when you were a baby boomer thinking you were going to move to California and open a winery as your legacy.
Yes. One of the next stories that they talked about that, again, we're not going to go too much into because they've been talking about this story since 2023. Bud Light being dethroned as the king. Long live Modelo as the new king.
Yeah, so
there's a lot that you could unpack in that one.
So Modelo, number one beer in the U.S.
And Bud Light will probably never retake that crown.
Probably not, because they have stated, is it in this same vein, the same story where they're going to pump money into Busch Light, and then also Mick Ultra, versus pumping money into growing the brands. Now, any contracts they have are standing. So
correct.
Anything they have that was signed with, Budweiser or Bud Light, you're still going to see those contracts to fruition, meaning marketing and otherwise. But basically, the way that they pump and fill marketing into growing brands is not going to be into Budweiser, Bud Light. It's going to be into Mick Ultra, Busch Light.
Yeah. And then the top story that they talked about in 2024 that hopefully we'll see more of in 2025, Anchor Steam. And
not enough
from... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think we were going to say the same thing. Not enough updates, not enough information now about what's happening since Sapporo decided to try to tank it, and then the Chobani CEO owner decided to buy it to breathe life back into it. I don't know what's happening with that from there, but it could be the Phoenix story that started in 2024 and hopefully comes to fruition in 2025. But that was 100% craft focused, and I don't know. Fingers crossed.
I'm looking forward to it because I want to stay positive, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Why buy the brand and say you love the brand? And by the way, this is a person who owns, like you said, Chobani, and they don't drink alcohol, which is fine. You don't have to, but you can believe in the brand. You can believe in the business. You can believe in the people. Hopefully what that means is that something is happening from behind the scenes infrastructure, HR, obtaining the right people to execute. When this brand comes back, this brand needs to be, back.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
And we're ready for it to be back. And if it's not the way it should be, I think that would be a misstep. So hopefully silence is good in this scenario.
Yeah, agreed. Then they touched on a couple of 2025 stories that they're excited about the continuation of. One of them being Sam Adams buying a whole lot of West End land. What are they going to do with it? Are they going to bring more production over here? Or is it just going to be warehouse space? That is to be seen, so that is something that's going to be exciting to watch. Tilray, they are back to promoting selling your entire 401k and buying Tilray stock. So buy into the stock. Well, I'm not saying that because we are not financial experts. Brett and Mike are not saying that. They are
clearly. I am not a financial expert.
But
and my wife's listening, and she knows.
She's shaking. She's nodding her head like yes, you are absolutely not. All right, and then tariffs. You will be impacted by tariff changes that may be coming down the pipeline.
I don't even want to talk about some of the
we're not going
discussions
to talk about
that I've had recently.
But it's just something to be aware of. Prices will increase, and there's no way around it. And then the last story that they are excited-ish to discuss in 2025, will Gen Z learn to drink in 2025?
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
You heard it from Marco. There you go.
No, I agree. I think they will.
Yeah. They'll find something. Yeah. Brett and Mike are taking a holiday break, but they will be back to being live, I think, on January the 3rd. So, I mean, again, we don't skip weeks, but, some people decide that that family and holidays are more important than recording.
Well, they're published authors.
They are published.
We're not.
We are not.
So,
absolutely
I mean,
not.
we can't take breaks.
They're
published authors.
We've got bills to pay,
their books are out there.
Oh yeah,
whether
buy
they're
Tanked in Cincinnati, and also look for any of the books that Mike Morgan has published. They're all absolutely fantastic reads. Yeah. They're very good.
They absolutely are. I haven't read them, but I believe they're fantastic.
You read Tanked in Cincinnati?
Well, I did.
So, yeah.
But all of Mike's other stuff.
You're saying. I thought you were saying all of them together. And I'm like, you've read at least one.
Tanked in Cincinnati was fantastic.
Oh my God.
All Mike's other books are absolutely fantastic. So I've heard.
All right, are you ready?
From Mike.
Do you have any other notes before we get to the sip count for this episode?
No.
All right,
absolutely
all
not.
right. Mike took a total of 16 sips. Not bad for him.
All right, not bad.
And Brett, he was using like a mini schooner. I was actually pretty impressed with his glassware. He took 33 sips.
Yeah, very good.
During this
Very good.
36-minute episode. I counted the number of times they used the word special, which, again, watch this episode to find out what that's about.
Special.
They said special 5 times.
Okay.
That's a grand total of 54 countables, which is 108 ounces if you're using our game's math.
Okay.
That is, in 36 minutes, 6.75 pints.
Oh, you got to be working at that.
That's a little over a pint every 6 minutes.
Yeah, you got to be working.
That's not for me.
You should.
No.
That's probably something you share with somebody. You share the
could
challenge.
Yes.
Like,
That's
hey,
a
we're
good
gonna
idea.
split this
That is a
one.
very good idea.
Yeah.
Split the challenge.
Split the challenge.
Those are all
Probably more responsible of us to ask people to do that in occasion.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
We still don't know what we're doing, and that's perfectly fine.
No.
I did want to, before we get to our outro, this is very last minute. This is something that we mentioned in the beginning we didn't think about or bring up until now. But I want to just a couple little, like, what were you happy about that we did or things that you enjoyed from our 2024? And is there anything you want to try to focus on, whatever, for Truth Beer Pod in 2025? Big question with not a lot of time.
It's a lot. It's a lot, Julia.
I will say, while you think about it, because I can tell that the gears are turning. I have at least one.
When people look at me, they can tell my gears are turning. It's like that's something about me. Yeah, go ahead, Julia.
I am glad that the Gnome has become as much of a mainstay on our show. Not every single episode, but most of our episodes, because it does add a little more of that, just the fun that we have discussing these things in our pre- and post-production meetings.
I couldn't agree more.
He reminds us to take those tangents and to be completely ridiculous, more so than I think we allow ourselves to be when it's just the two of us. Sometimes, yes, it makes editing these shows an absolute nightmare, and I am just like cursing both of their names because I can't. The mute buttons aren't even enough sometimes. But no, in all seriousness, I have absolutely loved having him be as big a part of our show as he has wanted to be in the weeks that he's able to show up.
I agree. I completely agree. And he comes from a place of love in this local craft beer industry. Mm-hmm. And so having his voice here talking about the stuff that we care about weekly just it's absolutely phenomenal. It's the small things. I'm happy that we're able to make this happen every week. I'm happy that we're able to, take the time to, walk when we get the chance to walk. We got to see Mad Tree,
Parks and Rec
come together. I'm happy that we got to go on some of the excursions that we got to go on this year. Some of the excursions were just amazing and fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of the best experiences that I've had in my time in this business. And some of the coolest things were that some of the people that we interacted with listen to what we do, which is so silly.
It's so
fun.
Yes.
It's so fun because we don't know who we touch and who listens and all that other stuff.
Is there anything that you want to try to do in 2025?
I want to. Well, the other thing I want to say I'm thankful for is, since Rachel's sitting right here, I couldn't do this consistently the way I do if it wasn't for the love and support of my family. And so thank you, Rachel, for everything that you do to help me make sure that we can continue to do this all the way back to when I said I want to do a podcast. This is what I want to do, and you were totally in favor for it. I would like to have a few more videos.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe try to actually schedule and plan for, and I'm going to try to throw this out there to make it easy for us, because we can always add more to what we've already done. One a quarter. we have got
Yeah.
to be able to do one a quarter. If we
I
can
think
make
we
them
should.
work out more frequently, we absolutely should.
Yeah.
But I think that for 2025, minimum one video a quarter, which we already have fourth quarter figured out with
Yeah.
the holiday drinking recommendation
holiday
video.
drinking recommendation.
So that's like we have to figure out 3 more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we should be able to do that. And so I want to
should.
put that out there into the
I agree.
universe that in 2025 we're going to have minimum of 4 videos released out there.
I think that's excellent. I think
Yeah.
that's right on point.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it might sound dumb, like, oh, it's easy to set up your phone, all that. It's like it is to a point, but then it's the editing. It's making sure that I remember batteries. It's making. I mean, I think we need to actually plan it better. Like, put it on the calendar, schedule it, plan it. This is what we're going to do. This is what, and not be like, oh, hey, we have some extra time. Let's put up my phone and see what happens.
right.
So yeah, that's what that's a goal
Yeah.
that I have for 2025.
One video a quarter. I like it.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that that would be good for us.
yeah.
Other than that, I just I look forward to doing this every week,
Yes.
and also continuing to encourage all of those podcast entities, YouTube shows, everyone that's out there to continue to do what they do so that we continue to talk about them positively.
Yeah.
If you're
If you're a listener and you want to put out content, make your own podcast or your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
Let us know about it so we can talk about it and promote it and shout it out.
and if you're a brewery that's thinking about doing it, just do it. Just do
Absolutely.
it. And we'll talk
Absolutely.
about it. And if you want to figure out how to get started,
talk to the gnarly
talk to the gnarly gnome.
We will help you as much as we absolutely can, but there may be a line to where we say, and now you got to talk to Gnome about this side.
Yeah.
So Gnome, we're trying
Exactly.
to throw you under the bus for that one. But
yeah.
all right. Well, do you have any? Our next show is going to come out in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other closing words for 2024 before we wrap this up?
Closing words for 2024.
Mine are just thank you to everyone that listens, everyone that has
Yeah.
been listening. Just thank you. I mean, that's
Yeah, I want to say thank you, and I just want to echo what we said at the end of our calendar show. Is just get out and support everybody that you want to see around. Get
Yes.
out and support local. Get out and support the places that you want to continue. It's okay if your local place is an Applebee's and you love the people there. Go there.
yeah.
But please know that all of the places out there, craft beer, breweries, bottle shops, the places on the corner, it doesn't matter where it is. They need your patronage. Please, please, please find a way to, within your means, support your local places. And it's important. So thank you all for your listenership. You can't get your time back. I appreciate it. And other than that, cheers, everyone. And we're going to be here next week.
Next Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
All right.
have
well,
a
if you-
Merry, Merry Christmas.
Yes, and with that being said, if you like what we've done tonight, just all the normal things you need to do, like, review, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Go to truthbeerpod.com. You'll find links to everything we do out there, from Truth Beer and Podsequences to Cincy beer events, to the link to sign up for the mailing list to get all of the Cincinnati beer events that we kind of aggregate and compile each and every week. You will get those emailed to you along with the sign-up links. We try to make it easy for you. Other than that, hope you had a wonderful holiday. And Marco and maybe Rachel, what are you going to be doing next week?
Julia, I think we're going to do this.
Do this?
Here.
Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers.